Welcome to The Fashion Department, a podcast that will explore the world of fashion and how it informs all aspects of life, from dress to lifestyle to food and travel. From stylists to designers to influencers to shop owners, you'll hear the latest scoop du jour. And now let me introduce you to your fabulous host, Tina Bricoli, a Greenwich, Connecticut-based wardrobe stylist and radio show personality. With over 20 years in the fashion industry, Tina will share her take on style, trends, the business of fashion, and her sartorial sense. Here's your host.
Hello, fashion friends. Welcome to the Fashion Department. Here in the Fashion Department, we obviously love to talk about clothes, new clothes, old clothes, vintage clothes, and upcycled clothes. What is upcycled clothes? My guests, plural, today are experts on all of the above. Joining me in studio today is Angela and Liz, the owners and, two of the owners and operators of a store called Thrift, a vintage resale shop in Norwalk, Connecticut. Welcome, Liz, and welcome back, Angela, to the Fashion Department.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So excited. So last season, Angela was here, and we chatted a bit, and we're going to kind of go back to that for a moment. First of all, happy anniversary. It's your 1-year anniversary of the store, correct?
Yes, thank you.
We're so excited. Thank you.
So
we made
excited.
it a year.
You made it a year, and I certainly hope you'll make it many, many years.
Thank you.
I think that one of the things I love, not just what you're selling and what's in the store is obvious, is your story. 4 sisters, right?
Yes.
So there's 4 sisters, and you all own the store.
Correct.
I understand that one of you lives out of state. Are the other 3 local?
Yes.
Okay. And so who does what? First of all, let's talk about, who does what? Let's start there.
Okay. I am basically day-to-day operations. I do more of like, what is it? Like
Working the store.
Working the store. Managing. Yeah.
Right.
Doing different displays, doing the windows. I'm
Merchandising.
Merchandising. I'm more of like the visual person, so I do that. Okay. Organizing, cleaning, anything that needs to be done.
Okay.
Liz,
I handle all of the sort of behind the scenes. So I do a lot of the website. I do all of the banking, all of the accounting, payroll type things. That's what I handle.
So you're the CFO.
She likes the computer stuff because I don't have no patience for that.
Oh, yeah.
And Angela also handles most of the social media.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're trying to join forces on that because now that a lot of the like Facebook and Instagram merged, it's been a little tricky, believe it or not, trying to get everything posted. And Danielle is our older sister who also lives in Westchester County, and she works weekends for us, helps us do our live sales, and she is at the store with us when we're overhauling, getting new merchandise in and changing for seasons. And then our sister Nicole out in Texas, she actually does a ton of our buying. Believe it or not, there are like these huge warehouses in Texas that have secondhand clothing. So we buy a lot of our merchandise secondhand merchandise wholesale.
Yep.
So she does a lot of that, and we originally started, I don't know if you want us to tell you about that, we originally started before we opened this store, and we were doing thrift cons and markets and different sort of flea market things, and we sort of started out of like her hub, and then we were going all over the country doing them before we moved into the space in Norwalk.
Okay, yes. So I remember this story vaguely, so help me out here. So the 4 of you all you kind of collected, bought, and sold vintage on your own individually?
Yeah. Okay, and yes, so now this started way back in the 90s.
Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, what, 8?
Yeah, my 2 older sisters, Nicole and Danielle, the older sisters, they found this amazing flea market on Broadway in the Village. And this was late 90s when this first go around with 70s was kind of back in.
Yes.
So they went and found every record store in the tri-state area, and they bought out all of the old iron-ons that people were housing in warehouses and basements. And, they weren't cool because it was, after the 80s, they sort of went out of style. So by late 90s, they were back in. My sisters started selling vintage T-shirts and really cool, funky clothes and rings and jewelry out on Broadway. And it was huge.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Huge. But then like 9/11 kind of happened and it sort of died.
And so-
everyone became mothers. So it was a lot.
Okay, so at that time, so the two older sisters are doing
So
this.
they're
How old
like
are they?
25.
Danielle was like in NYU.
Yeah,
so
so
she
Danielle-
was
yeah.
younger than Nicole. So she was like what?
20 and
20,
23.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was right after Nicole finished college. Nicole
Yes.
went to Syracuse. So
Yeah.
so it was like 20 and 23. And that went on and off for like a few years. And then once Nicole and Danielle had children, it got a little trickier. And then
Well, we tagged along too.
Yeah,
like
we
in the
tagged
summers,
along.
we tagged along because we were we're younger than them.
Right.
But we were like, they needed the help. We were.
and we
Okay.
just wanted to be around them because we thought it was super cool.
So they're older. You two are the
Yeah.
two
So
younger.
there's
Got
from
it.
oldest to youngest, there's 10 years in between.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
it's Nicole 2 years later, Danielle 6 years later, me, and then 2 years later, Angela. So it's the big girls and the little girls.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I'm seeing. Okay.
So then I would say like 5 or 6 years ago, we started hearing about like social, different selling platforms. So I joined Poshmark first, just because I was thinking, oh, I'm working full time in the city, but maybe it's good to like have a little extra income here and there. And it sort of took off for me. I couldn't put a ton of time into it, but when I did, my clothing was selling, and then I started to here and there buy items like on clearance. And we started putting those items on, and it was taking off. So I like convinced the three of them, like, you have to do this. This could be amazing for us. And then it went from Poshmark to Mercari to eBay. Like, you can do it on multiple sites. So we tried to get into that, but then my job in the city became like way too demanding. So I wound up actually just removing my accounts, and I gave them all of my stuff.
Oh, so you're doing this on the side.
So
Originally.
yes,
Originally.
Well,
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, for the longest, she was a stay-at-home mom, and so was Nicole.
Okay.
So Danielle and I both have full-time jobs. So Danielle and I were doing it on the side, but they were doing it full-time.
And who was the veteran?
Me.
That's you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we'll circle back to this. Okay, so impressive.
Thank you.
And thank you. Okay, so keep going. So you have a full-time job
right
after you were in the military.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So then we...
Then COVID really hit.
COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so we were doing pretty well they were doing well because at this point I had gotten rid of my accounts. And so they were doing really well on the platforms. And then right after, it wasn't over, but when things started to reopen from COVID, we started seeing ThriftCon and all of these different conventions and flea markets and things. So we're like, why don't we take a chance? So I had just had a new baby. So Angela, Danielle, and Nicole started going. They went to Texas and Philly and California.
These are like big conventions?
Exactly.
Yeah, where
for
thrifters. Yeah, where you
thrifters
can
and
rent
vintage.
a booth and sell.
It's
so
like as if you're at like a trade show,
Yeah.
because they are in huge trade show spaces.
And this is open to the public.
yeah,
Yes.
you just have to get on a list, like
You
sign
have to
up,
pay
your
Right.
fee, and then.
I
So
want to go. I mean,
they're
as a
fun.
shopper.
Yeah, that'd be
Yes,
cool. To go.
they're
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
fun.
It's cool to experience,
Yeah.
and it's different now because like we're a little bit older, but like
Right.
you get like the young kids who are like just starting out, maybe like still in high school or even college, and now with social media, it's like a whole different game.
Right.
Everybody wants to sell something, and everybody can really. So
Right.
it's nice to
So you
see
have-
like the young kids coming up,
Right.
and like us a little bit older people still around, and like because
Yeah.
they see things differently than we see things, and like they're looking for different, and older people are looking for different. So it's also like you
Right.
see
There's the collectors, there's
Yeah.
the people who want to try resale on their own, and then there's just people there to buy and enjoy,
Right.
merchandise. So it's fun.
Yeah.
So we did that, and that really took off. And then we decided, well, now we have all of this inventory because now we're like excited and we're buying and buying and buying.
Right.
we don't know how to act. We do not know how
We
to act.
enjoyed that part a lot. So
And which is funny too because we all pick up different stuff. Like sometimes we'll be like someone will be like, "What about this?" And we're like, "No." And then someone will be like, "Yeah," and it's so funny.
Well, that's
because
what I was going to ask. One of
Yeah.
my next questions
Yeah.
is, how do your styles differ? Like, do you have similar styles? Or are they all very
I think
different?
We do.
I mean, aside from this, I have shown up at parties and my sisters and I are wearing like almost the exact same outfit, not knowing, or
Yeah.
I've bought the same shirt
Or
at
what
the
about-
store for like
when I needed her to pick up my kids from
my
school,
gosh, this is so
I went to
embarrassing.
school in the same shirt earlier in the
didn't know.
day,
So
and she picked my kids up in the other later in the day, and she had the same outfit on as me.
Wow.
Yes,
We
and they
didn't
were
know
like,
that we
"Hi,
owned the same
Ange,
shirt."
hi, Ange," and
so
then
people kept waving at me in the parking lot like, "Hi, Angela," and I'm like, "Hi."
and then she got to my house, and we had the same clothes
I
on.
was like, no
God.
wonder people thought I was you all
Yeah.
day. How embarrassing.
That's
So
hilarious.
so it depends.
So your
Right.
personal styles are similar.
Yes.
What about your taste for when you're buying for the store?
We're buying, I think Nicole definitely leans towards vintage and classic, like old fashioned, cool stuff. Danielle and I would say it's like more, I think ours is like a little bit similar.
Yeah.
We almost like a lot of the stuff Danielle and I kind of pick up is like fur trims and like 60s cool vintage clothing. And I think with you now, it's like a little bit more like Y2K.
Yeah.
And
Like my era.
80s, 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that makes
exactly.
sense.
Our era.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun because we all have a different eye for stuff. And sometimes, I may pick something up and we put it out in the store and one of them's like, it's never going to sell. And it's the first thing that, sells that day. And I'm
Right,
like, see, I told
It's
you.
like the weirdest stuff sells. The things you don't think are going to sell.
That was one thing that
So
we
if
promised.
we like second guess ourselves, we're like, then we should get it. Usually.
Right.
Because you never know.
But the problem was in the past, sometimes we felt like when we did similar ventures, we were putting out stuff that we really liked. And not everyone has our taste. So we make it a point to get what we like, but also stuff that we wouldn't necessarily purchase for ourselves. And then, we see that it also sells. Everyone has different tastes. So.
Yeah, and I feel like then that's just the true meaning of a buyer.
Exactly.
A buyer for any store, like I remember many years ago before I was a stylist, I was thinking like, oh, do I want to be a buyer? Maybe I want to go to school for that. And then many years later, once I now have buyer friends and they're like, depending on where they're working, of course, like the big department stores are like, it's all math. We just have to fill quotas. You can't just pick what you want. Maybe boutique buying, that's a little different. But there's like, we have to have a certain amount of cotton shirts or certain amount of this or certain amount of that. It's not necessarily So it's a little bit of what they like, but it's a lot of bit of reading the business. Right. So, and looking back at last year and then versus, trying to.
Right.
Okay, so now you've converged. So you took all your stuff and kind of melted it together, and then you opened.
Yeah,
Thrift.
after
So we
COVID,
started-
we were like, what are we doing? Because we're kind of antsy and we always want to have a project. It's like in our blood. So we were like, always wanted to do something together, the four of us, but it's like we never come together. And then we were finally like, well, we have all this stuff sitting in our basements. Like, what are we doing? Let's put it in a store.
So yes. So originally we were sort of looking in Fairfield County and Westchester County, and then we found the location here in Norwalk on 5 River Street, and we felt like there was like a new energy in the area. They're really starting to try to like build it up.
Yeah.
And everything is sort of being redone in the area. So we were thinking maybe like let's get on board with like this push for like the area and the new vibe and the new energy and the theater's trying to have like new cooler acts and there's going to be a performing arts college opening now. It's like exciting. This
It's
area.
like artsy. I think everybody wants it to take off.
Yeah.
It's like kind of we're all new in our area, like all new business, young people.
Right, because where we were was one large building that they broke down into storefronts.
Yeah, I was just going to say, your building is like new construction.
Right. So it was there for many years, and it was one large business. And I think originally, prior to COVID, they were hoping to put in some restaurants and bars. And then that sort of fell through, unfortunately, because of COVID. But there's a bakery, there's a nail salon, there's a boba tea place, and a new restaurant's opening next door to us.
Yeah, and I think they're trying to make it like so you could walk around and do a couple things. Like that's what we're hoping for. Like foot traffic. Even kids, would be like something to do. I feel like there's nothing for kids to do anymore. But like if you drop somebody off, then they have like options.
Right. It's like a little destination center. Yeah, which it feels like it's going towards that because there's, like you said, a couple of stores in a row, like you get your nails done, and there's the bakery. So that's all good.
Yeah, and I think they're building some new housing, so I think it'll be great.
We're hoping for the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're excited.
And now it's 1 year later. And it's gone fast. I remember when I first heard about you guys, I think it was right when you opened, and then I forgot to check because I want to check that out. And as usual, I'm doing 15 things at once, and I didn't get a chance to circle back until I think it was here at the studio, and someone said something about it, and then I was like, I need to do that like today.
Thank you.
And so I did, and I went in, and I met you, Angela.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was great, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So. I love, love, love this story. So it's great.
you.
So you
Thank
all
you.
kind of have your own thing. You're all in charge. That's amazing. Do you all get along? Be honest.
So
We'll be honest.
We will be honest. We always get along. We have been having a little bit of a difficult time lately. And that is because I've been pulled away from my other job a lot lately.
Okay.
Angela and I went into this, all four of us went into this knowing our availability.
Right.
So Danielle has her other job. Nicole is in Texas. No expectation on either of them there. But Danielle does help us all weekend. But it was that we were going to try to split the week and we were going to, someone would have the baby, my little one, and we'd pick up her kids and, you know, be like very mother-friendly business. And unfortunately, some things changed and our mom isn't 100% right now. So we have had to, it's kind of fallen all on Angela right now. And it's just, I wouldn't say that we're really fighting.
No.
It just gets a little emotional
Yeah.
and
Right.
we're
very emotional, very sensitive
We're very
sometimes.
loving,
We,
so-
and it's not like a fight like we're not going to talk.
No,
like,
right. Nothing
we,
like that.
we argue, we get it over with. We have like crazy rage texts. We have side texts. We have
because there's four of
you
us,
know.
but then there's three people, three people
Right.
texts.
Right.
'cause
There's
we're all
sidebars.
gossiping.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You got a
yeah,
sidebar
yeah.
over here.
She's
It's like-
driving me crazy today.
Yeah. Did you
know?
speak to her today?
Right.
Like, but that's life. I mean, we're very close
but we
anyway.
don't
Like,
care.
we're lucky we were raised close, so it like doesn't matter. Like, regardless if something goes wrong with the store, like, and we
It's
need
just-
each other, we're there.
You're still
So,
family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think because it
Business would
reminds
never.
me of like, you know, I'm in group texts with different groups of people, you know, girlfriends.
Yeah. Right.
So I have the girlfriends from New York, the city, I have the girlfriends from over there, the girlfriends from over there, wherever. And the same thing will happen. There'll be a sidebar. Someone will be like, what is she talking about? And then I'll be like,
so
I don't know.
confused,
Or,
right?
right. But
so
the good thing is you guys are related. So you're
Right,
family. I
right.
feel like that's a good thing where sometimes there'll be somebody that suddenly drops out of the group text
Right.
because, you know, someone's been aggravated or annoyed or just
Yes.
had a little too much. And I'm like, oh,
Well,
I don't
Liz
know.
drops out sometimes.
I
She
have
comes
to drop
back
out
in. She
sometimes,
comes back
then
in.
I come back in.
You got to give her a day, and she comes
Just
right back
need
in.
a minute.
You know?
I need a minute.
Sometimes you need a minute.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's just
It's a lot. Opening a business is a lot, even if you're not with your sisters. Like
Right.
Yeah,
taking
it's a lot.
on a new venture is hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no
Regardless,
question. business
business is hard. So if
Absolutely.
you have the guts to do it, regardless, you're
it's worth
doing
taking
good.
the
Yeah.
risk.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we did it together.
Yeah.
Because we have each
Absolutely.
other. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to pivot a little bit and I want to talk about what's in the store because you have some really good. First of all, let's pause and give out the Instagram handle. I forgot to do that. It's at Thrift Connecticut.
All spelled
Correct.
out. Exactly.
All spelled out at Thrift, Connecticut. And the address is 5 River Street, right? In Norwalk, Connecticut. And by the way, anybody listening in the city, it is a great day trip. And it's not far. The Metro North up, it's probably 55, 6, maybe an hour. I think.
Yeah, I don't
Norwalk,
even
an
think
hour.
it is maybe on the weekend.
Yeah.
Probably like 45 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I
maybe
think it's
not
about
like
an hour.
50.
Yeah, I think it's an hour.
Yeah.
Because to Darien is about 50. So, but great little day trip. You certainly
Thank
can do
you.
other things. I know I have plenty of friends that live in the city, and I feel like they're always looking for little mini getaways because, you know, it's who's flying, who's not flying anymore, who has a car, who doesn't have a car. You know, the city people, because we're burbs, right? The city people always have different sets of problems, you know,
right.
or challenges. And a lot of my friends are like always looking for a little something to do. You know, their schedules are busy or they have kids, but they have a day,
Right.
you know, and I'm like, go to Connecticut, you know, there's,
It's
or
true.
even just
People
Westchester
think it's
County.
so far, and
They
it's
think
not
so
far. And we literally are 1 block from the bus depot, so you could even take the train and take the bus,
Right,
if
right,
you
right.
needed to, or you could walk.
Or walk, or
Yeah.
just
It's
Uber.
beautiful.
Yeah. It's fast.
And the Metro North is so easy to take. I mean, I commute in all the time to, you know, from
Right.
actually from Darien. I take the train in. I feel like it's a great little day trip in.
It is.
And lots of stuff to do.
And
So-
beautiful
agree.
right now.
Yes.
Everything looks so beautiful.
Yeah,
with the
I know.
green.
I love
I'm
it.
like,
There
I
is
don't
a lot
remember
to
it
do.
being this green.
You know, if you come up to the store, there's a lot to
Yeah.
do
There
in
is.
the area now.
There is.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
you
there's
have a car, even better, because then you could go to a couple different little
Right.
towns. I love when people say to me, you know, where do you live? Westchester? Oh, upstate. I'm like, that's not upstate.
Yeah, right. No,
That
upstate
happens to me
is
all the
far
time.
from us.
Right.
Really.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
upstate's like Albany.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
upstate. Like, we're going towards Canada. I'm like,
you can't get it there on the Metro North.
no,
That's upstate.
exactly. You're taking road snacks to go upstate. Like, my house is 45
People
minutes
say
away.
that to me all the time.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
And then when I tell them how long it takes me to get into the city on the train, they'll go, "Oh, you live closer to the city than someone that lives in Long Island or Brooklyn."
Exactly.
And I'm like,
We
well,
work, yes. And I work, my other job, I work near the Met, and I have over the years become friendly with some Met employees, and they live in Brooklyn on Staten Island, and it takes them over 2 hours to get to work.
yes,
Are
yes.
you kidding me?
Right.
No,
but
thank you.
Westchester's or Connecticut's upstate.
I think
north.
I think for my town, it's 27 minutes to Grand Central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
nice.
But it's, like I said, it's a great day trip. So, all right, let's talk about what you have in the store. You have a little bit of everything, right?
Yes.
You have clothing,
Yes. Ton of
men's and
clothing.
women's,
Yes.
children's.
We do have a small section of children's. We would love to put more out, but our space is limited right now.
Okay.
So that is the goal for summer, to get more children's things out.
Okay. What else? You have like
We
home
have
decor, right?
glassware. We have some decor. We have ton of records.
Yep.
And we have
We have CDs too.
we do have CDs and
tapes and
Wow.
8-tracks.
eight tracks, right? And then we have the most amazing upcycled flannel shirts that my sister Nicole in Texas makes. So
Which I love.
oh my God, they're amazing. So they're either vintage iron-ons or old T-shirts that she puts on the back of the flannel, and some of them are tie-dye bleach tie-dyed, excuse me. And they're really in right now, and they're selling really well. So if you're around, definitely stop by to see them. We also have beautiful jewelry.
Clothing. We
Our
have
jewelry
shoes.
is awesome.
Our
And right now we're
shoes.
doing a huge shoe sale too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Our
okay.
jewelry is, I love our jewelry. I love jewelry.
Some of it's handmade. My sister Nicole makes a ton of it, but other jewelry is just a lot. Most of our jewelry is new right now. It's
we have
not.
those awesome vintage clip-ons. We have a ton of clip-ons.
Is it vintage jewelry?
We
Or
have
is it
vintage jewelry.
just like cocktail jewelry?
We do have a little cocktail jewelry,
cock-
but mostly
like
we
costume
have
jewelry.
like
yeah,
Sorry.
costume.
like
costume.
Costume.
costume jewelry. We do have some like just what is it like?
I don't know. We have a
Fake
ton
jewelry.
of like,
I
yeah,
don't know how to
costume,
use-
like
Costume,
plastic.
yeah,
but
like
it's
a lot of
the
like-
young high school kids who come in buy these little rings that we buy wholesale, and they're just like they look silver. They're not real silver.
Right,
and They
right.
just, but the quality is really great, and they come back for more all the time. They're so cute, the rings.
Okay.
And what else? We have amazing baseball caps.
We have vintage toys right now.
Oh, vintage
Vintage
toys.
glassware.
Oh,
like,
that's
really cool.
cartooned glassware.
Yeah, we have from
Cabbage Patch stuff.
1983.
Yeah.
Oh.
We have really cool old-fashioned suitcases.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I
So
love
could
them.
it be are they functional or are they more for like
Both. They are functional, but not compared to what we have now with like
Yeah.
the wheels.
right.
Yeah.
No, it would be like a vintage
they
suitcase.
they can be used. The locks work and everything like that. But we've had photographers come in and buy them for like background props.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking, like to decorate like a guest bedroom
Yes,
or just
so
like a little
cute.
corner in your house,
Yeah.
an office.
And we have some beautiful vintage lamps from the 1960s
Oh my
that
God,
are
yeah.
gorgeous. We got
Yeah.
those at estate sales.
And what
Oh.
They're
about
magical.
I just put out some vintage summer dresses that are amazing.
Okay. So
do.
is that what's in store now? You're pushing more like the summer dresses and it's kind of, you're pushing like the seasonal stuff, I'm guessing.
Seasonal
Yeah?
stuff
Yeah.
and like band t-shirts.
Oh, and prom dresses and we
had
yeah, we have some like prom dresses, cocktail dresses. We have a ton of dresses right now too.
Okay. And so where do you find the stuff? Do you source it? If someone wants to donate, can they donate?
Right. So we have been so lucky and we are so grateful at all of the customers who donate. We
Yeah.
weren't really expecting that when we opened because we
didn't
purchased all
at
of our
all
items.
expect that.
And we have the most amazing customers. They come in with tons of stuff. And if you donate, we do give a 20% off coupon for your next purchase.
Okay.
But we are just loving that. Otherwise, we find our stuff at, estate sales and we'll buy. We don't do consignment. It's just too tricky for us to keep track of everything.
Yeah.
So that's not something we're offering right now.
Okay.
But we will buy if it's like something amazing,
Yeah.
if it's some kind of a collection or if it's band t-shirts or anything sort of funky and cool that we're looking for, we would purchase it.
Right.
But typically we just buy wholesale.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone wants to, if they have some great pieces that they want to donate, how would they do that? They get in touch with you.
As long as we're open, we take a donation.
Okay,
Yeah.
so someone can just walk in?
Walk
Do they
right
need to
in,
make
yeah.
an appointment?
Nope.
Nope, just walk right
Just
in.
don't leave it outside because we don't like anything out.
But there's
don't
a
want
few
to.
things you can't take, right?
like we don't take huge furniture.
Or
We
like
don't
car
take baby
seats,
car
right, but
seats,
yeah.
mattresses, nothing like that. We only take like small furniture, like end
Like little
tables and
end
stuff like
tables.
that.
Right. Or
We're a little-
or clothing, obviously.
Yes.
Little. Okay.
Shoes.
I mean, I feel like people should check out your Instagram because that's pretty clear on what you sell and what you would take.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite things is your Instagram lives. Are you still doing that?
We are. We didn't.
Yes.
We haven't done
it
it right
in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I just actually put a post out. Do you guys want us to do? Because we never know. Like, do they want vintage only? Do they want what's in style now?
Right.
So it's kind of like we were trying to figure that out, and we were hoping like we would get more feedback, but I didn't really. But I mean, we have fun.
And it
you
shows.
do an
And you know
amazing
what's
job.
really good is that if you see something you like, sometimes people will be like, can you hold that for me? Or they come right in. Like sometimes if I randomly do one during the day, like I'm
Yeah.
alone and I do one, someone will come in like a half an hour later and be like, I just saw you. And I was like, oh my God. You don't realize like there's actually people watching. It's crazy. And it's so nice to see like that has been very
It gets
helpful.
us a lot of business.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
helps. Even if people aren't purchasing right then on the live, they'll come in and look at the items. We'll
Yeah.
hold it. Or they'll even sometimes see things in the background.
Yes.
Like the other day, we did a quick one, and a girl, we showed a skirt. The little girl, a young, like maybe she was in high school. She came in person. She wasn't in love with the skirt, but then she bought like 3 or 4 other items. So it like got her in.
Yeah, gets
so
you
it's
exposure.
exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
I love them. I think you should keep doing them.
Thank you.
And I love your red lipstick, Angela.
Thank you.
I love when I'm like,
All
yes.
4 of us are red lipstick girls.
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen
Yeah.
you the most.
Yes.
When it,
And I walked in and I was like, I forgot my lipstick.
She
I was
literally
like,
said that as we were
I
walking
would get in
in.
the elevator. She was like, "It's okay." I'm like, "Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy. It's been crazy."
it's okay. We're not
Thank you.
live, but
Thank you.
What's interesting about the live is Angela has always been the shyest of the 4 of us. She's the
Oh.
baby.
Yeah, I'm the baby,
She's
yeah.
shy. She had like.
I
always
don't really never
quiet.
talk.
She's
Well,
never
I
been a
have
voice.
3 older sisters to
Well,
talk
yeah.
for me my
That's
whole
why.
life. And once I had children, it changed the game.
Right.
Like now I have to talk for people. I
Right.
still won't talk if they're
No,
around.
if we're together, she won't even call and order a pizza. I have
No,
to do
yeah.
it. She,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm
My
with her,
husband
she asks
too.
me
I'll
to
be-
call the. Can you make my doctor's appointment? I'm like, you're an adult. You have to make your own appointment. But
Did you
she's
sure
like,
you can't call for me?
on our lives, she is like this. You do such a good job.
Thank you,
I
thank
love.
you.
I
Yeah.
love when you do the lives. It
Yeah.
gets me so happy.
I've come out of my shell a lot.
But that's your thing. You know, like
Right.
you feel comfortable and it shows. I think
I
you
love
do
it.
well because
Yes.
it shows
Yeah, I
that you
like
like
it. It's
it.
fun.
And you're very
yeah.
confident. It's
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank you.
I'm
It's
telling
fun.
you, it's the
And
power
it's
of the red
fun.
lip.
Yes.
It's the power of the red lip. It's true. You
my
put
God,
on. It's
thank
like
you.
it's like wearing high heels. Like all of a sudden your posture
Yeah,
changes.
well, it's like once you put
and you're like,
makeup on and you put eyebrows on, it's
Well,
like,
that's-
holy God,
Yeah.
I look like that. I
Right.
say to them,
I
how do
just
I
said
go
to
out
him,
without
like,
makeup?
running late, I have no makeup on. I'm like, there's not going to be camera, right?
right. Yeah, it's so true. I said that the other day. I was actually going to an event and I was having my makeup done.
Oh, nice.
I booked it. I was like, okay, I'm going to treat myself. This specific event was being filmed for television, and I'm like, I didn't know if I was going to be filmed or not, but I'm like,
Right.
just in case,
Yeah,
because
of
with my
course.
luck,
Yeah,
I would,
exactly.
So I booked an appointment to get my makeup done. So going to the appointment, obviously I have no makeup on, so I do my skincare and everything, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, well, I got to put at least a little gloss on,
Right.
you know. And my husband's like, I said to him, I go, I am so insecure right now, and I shouldn't be. I'm a middle-aged woman.
right.
And he said, why? I said, because I don't have a stitch of makeup on, and I feel like horror. I feel like I look like an animal, you know. And he
You're
was, and
beautiful,
I'm like,
though.
I know, I shouldn't feel that way, but like we all
Yeah.
have that
it's
little
like the
thing.
little things, you know.
It's
you
the
don't
little
realize-
things.
And some people, like, I'll have makeup on and then I don't have makeup on and be like, oh, are you the same person? I'm like, yeah, I'm the same person. Right. Hard to believe, but I am.
I know. I get that all the time with sometimes with my pictures on Instagram. I'm like, I swear they're not filtered.
Right.
And I mean, we might fix the lighting, but
Right.
they're not like photoshopped. Like that's me. You
Yeah.
know, it's just the angle, or
Of
maybe my
course,
makeup was
right.
better that day. And I'm like, but I swear I don't change the way I look. I get that too. Like,
Yeah.
do I
And the
look?
lighting in the store at like a certain day is like perfect, which is so nice.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
it's like crappy,
I know.
but you know.
Well, I love the lives. I hope you'll
Thank
keep doing
you.
them. Is
Thank
there a
you.
time that you normally do?
We were
them?
usually doing them like Thursday nights.
Yeah,
I
we were doing
randomly pop on like during the week if there's like slow time.
Okay.
But we got to figure that out over the summer. Maybe.
We were in the beginning. They were super popular, and we were doing phenomenal. And then we found like staying consistent with the time, it didn't seem like it was working. So we tried a few different days, but I think we should just probably go back to Thursdays.
Yeah.
We then started to try to do it a little later because we do have a lot of followers on the West Coast, believe it or not, on social media, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how they found us, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's too, we were trying to gauge it. Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I think it's just a matter of just trying to be consistent. Maybe just trying to be consistent with it again. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe giving it like a little bit of a title. Like I know there's a jewelry designer who is based in California, and I love when they do their lives. And they were doing like live at 5, so that was like their little time.
Cute.
But it was 5 their time, right? So it was later for us,
right?
And so I wasn't always able to watch because I'm like, well, now it's 8.
Yeah,
you know, they're in LA, and I'm like, and that's a tricky time, you know. So then they started doing it at like 2:00, and they gave it like a different name. It was like 2:00 LA time. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little better because I could be on the train, I could be just getting home, like so. But I felt like when they gave it a little name, I remembered it more.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. And now you could like put I don't know, it's like a calendar now on Instagram, which I never knew. Like that's new.
The reminder.
Yes, a reminder.
Yeah.
So I have to figure that out. Maybe something
really good.
Cool. I don't know.
Okay. And so what's coming up? Any upcoming sales or events that it's in the store?
So since it's our 1-year anniversary, this week we're doing 50% off all week, and we're going to be running some really good sales all spring and summer.
Okay.
Just trying to get people in.
Yeah, we're going to try to do some events.
Yeah.
Maybe like partner with some local stores around us and try to.
Love that.
I feel like we got to like embrace the community and bring them in. I feel like some people don't really even know we exist. So maybe if we, bring
collaborate with other stores
small
and businesses.
I find that I see that more and more. Not just digitally, like online, you always see collaborations, but now like business to business. And I think that is brilliant because even if you're like, well, I wouldn't go get my nails done, but I would go shop at Thrift, or I want to go to the bakery, but it doesn't matter if you collaborate with different businesses, you never know who you'll get. You're going to get that crossover customer.
That's what we're hoping
about. Yeah.
And I just think then it's more, obviously the audience is bigger. You're casting a wider net. I think that's a really smart idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to try.
Yeah,
and
that's
your
our goal.
business is so fun. It's like, something like a bakery, it's like, well, it's baked goods. So if you're not in the market for that, or nails, like, well, if I'm not getting my nails done, that kind of thing. But yours is a little bit more, it's universal. I want to call it.
Yeah, and I think we have something for everyone, right?
Yes.
I mean, you could get an outfit, you get a ring, or you can, get something for your
have
mom.
Lots of little gifts.
Yeah.
We have new and used like little gifts and
trinkets
little treasures.
and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are basically almost out of time. I want to thank you girls, Liz and Angela, once again from Thrift for joining me. So the Instagram is at Thrift Connecticut. And if you want to come and visit, it's 5 River Street in Norwalk, Connecticut, just a train ride away from New York City. It's take the Metro North up. But I encourage everyone to follow them on Instagram, and because you can shop that and you can message them and say, love that or hold that or whatever it may be. So thank you, ladies, for joining me.
Thank you.
Be sure and come back to the fashion department.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate this.
Thanks for joining me in the fashion department. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. For more inspiration and fashion content, check out my website and follow along on Instagram at wardrobe_envy. And a special thanks to the Factory Underground Studio for recording and producing this show. See you next time.